Olatunji. Service of songs in honor of late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Lagbaja, happened in Abuja. Tonight we'll be assessing Governor Amadu Fintiri's 5-year stewardship, the challenges and successes. And I will be speaking with Honorable James Elia as the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Adamawa State, and also Dr. John Ngamza, SA Governor of Interior and Communication and Strategy, will be joining us on the program. Welcome to the program, everyone. Stay with us. I'll be right back. Thank you very much for staying with us on the program. Now let's begin with some developments in the polity. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 3 Nigerians as Directors General of various agencies and 1 special advisor on public communications and media. The new appointees Olawale Olopade, Director General, National Sports Commission; Dr. Abisoye Fagade, Director General, National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism; Dr. Adebowale Adedokun, Director General, Bureau of Public Procurement; and Daniel Bwala, Special Advisor, Media and Public Communications, State House. Moving on, the service of songs in honor of late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Lagbaja, at the Army Headquarters, Garrison, Abuja. The remains of the former Chief of Army Staff had earlier arrived at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. A guard of honor was on ground to receive the body of the COAS, marking the commencement of funeral rites for the 23rd Chief of Army Staff. The late COAS body will be interred on Friday at the National Military Cemetery, Abuja. May his soul rest in perfect peace. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has told the FCT High Court in Maitama that co-defendants in a suit filed against the former governor of Kogi State has been admitted to bail. Umar Oricha and Abdusalami Hudu were granted administrative bail by the Commission in the alleged 101.4 billion fraud brought against them and Yaya Bello. Lasina Area reports.
At the resumed sitting, counsel to the EFCC told Justice Miriam Aneni that it would be premature to issue a warrant of arrest on the former governor of Kogi State, since he still has time to respond to the summons of the court issued on him. The order issued by the court for Mr. Bello to appear in court is to lapse on November 17, 2024. Counsel to the EFCC prayed the court for an adjournment to 27 November to afford Mr. Bello more time. He also confirmed to the court that 2 defendants in the case are on administrative bail. He prayed the court to grant an application to post the notice of hearing on the last known address of Mr. Bello, since he has not been attending proceedings. After listening to all counsels, the judge granted the EFCC application and adjourned to November 27th. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
A non-governmental organization has inaugurated a school for girls who are out of school in Taraba State. This gesture is in support of the free education policy of Governor Abukefa's administration. Senior reporter Wulabi Adenusi found in this report.
Bodies, non-governmental organizations and individuals are rallying around Governor Abukefa's administration to help in developing Taraba State educational system. Primary and secondary schools in the state are now free and compulsory to all residents of the state. This has attracted many stakeholders who want to support Governor Kefa's administration for the success of the policy. At this event, Old Boys Association of Government Science Secondary School, Donga, Taraba State, led by Professor Awal Abubakar, is unveiling a newly built borehole in the school.
We are also partnering with political leaders. The honorable member has been also advocating for the school. We want to see that we also approach the Taraba State government to see that it is brought back as a special science school with a special funding.
The paramount ruler of Donga also lent his voice.
Together, we will realize our vision for this great institution. Thank you very much and God bless you all.
In a related development, a non-governmental organization has officially inaugurated an alternative free school for girls to support Governor Kefa's free education policy. Speaking at the event, the initiator of the project gave more insight, stressing that girls who are forced to drop out of school due to teenage pregnancy early marriage, financial challenges, religious or cultural practices are to be provided an opportunity to access continuous learning.
What we are trying to do in this center, we are not encouraging students to go get pregnant. That is not what we stand for. But they've made a mistake. We want to give them a platform where they could access learning, where they don't necessarily have to drop out of school because of one bad decision, but rather they can access continuous learning. So if you're a young teenager that you're pregnant, this center is for you. You can come to this center and you access continuous learning.
The representative of the State Ministry of Education commended the organizers, stressing that the gesture is in line with Governor Kefa's free education policy.
Young girls that are pregnant, they don't have someone to stand for them. That is how they miss WAEC, NECO, and all of that. And that's how their future is closed down automatically. But for you to come and establish this, when I get back there, we have vulnerable children also, and adults too, and young girls that are vulnerable out there. We go down to the community level.
Stakeholders in the education sector believe that with these efforts put in place by the governor and other NGOs, Taraba State will do better in the coming days.
Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to assess Governor Amadu Fintire's 5-year stewardship, the challenges and successes. Please stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Tonight, we take a look at Amadu Fintire's 5 years as the executive governor of Adamawa State. We'll take a look at some of his interventions in education, agriculture, security and infrastructure, as well as health. And to help us navigate some of the successes and challenges of Governor Fintire, I'm now being joined virtually from Adamawa State by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Honorable James Leah, and their State Governor Fintire on Communication and Strategy, Dr. John Kamse. Gentlemen, good evening to you. Welcome to Politics Tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Right, Honorable Commissioner, let me start with you by taking you back to days after Governor Fintire announced that he was seeking re-election for a second term. He says, and I quote, I have started a crusade for reinventing a new Adamawa state where no one is left behind and nothing is left untouched. We've done so much in physical infrastructure, and moving forward, stomach infrastructure will take precedence. End of quote. And I can only imagine that what the governor meant by stomach infrastructure is that Adamawa people would not only hear on television that federal allocation to the states has increased significantly, they would not only hear on television that the IGR of the state is now about 17 billion, but they would enjoy the dividends of democracy and their lives would be better. So how far has the governor gone with this?
Thank you very much. I believe you are hearing me this
Yes,
evening.
I can.
Right Honorable Amadu Fintire assumed office on the 29 May 2019. He rolled out the 11-point agenda in which he categorized it into series of programs. And he was also being sworn into office on the 29 May 2023. And he rolled out the 8-point agenda. Both the 11-point agenda and the 8-point agenda, they are moving together. As you have rightly said, when he came into the office, we discovered there's a security challenges all over the state. And all of us in Nigeria know that the security challenges in 2019 in Adamawa State is a serious matter. And therefore, he bought many Hilux buses. He went around all the states, particularly where the security challenges are. He encouraged the security personnel. He is always at the scene of the event, and before he realized, the security challenges dropped down to Adamawa State, whereby everybody can go and do businesses and you can roll around. And
Honorable Commissioner, are you there? All right, Dr. Gwamza, let me come to you. I mean, the point of that question, Dr. Gwamza, are you there? Dr. Gwamza, are you there? All right. So if you can hear me, the basis of that question was to say that, I mean, in the last 5 years and in specifics, how has this administration changed the poor development narratives of Adamawa State? Recently, the federal government honored him as the best governor in infrastructure. But how about sectors like education, health, agriculture, and security?
Well, fantastic. I like your opening when you did mention his central philosophy, you know, that guided the KPI, that is the Key Performance Index of Governor Amadou Fintri. It was quite exciting seeing how it really connected with the basic fact that those areas that you've mentioned, particularly my commissioner did mention earlier, have been truly and seriously worked upon. I think most outstandingly, whether we like it or not, we have to accept that the fact that it's been so fair and good and commendable over the simple fact that he was honored in both the previous government and the present one as the best performing infrastructure governor in Nigeria. And some of these things are boldly highlighted. If you can have a simple Google search, and when you come to Adamawa State and you're able to zero down on the streets, you're likely to see very serious and imposing infrastructure. Of the flyovers, about 4 of them, you know, about 2 of them nearly finishing, good enough at least to connect the entirety of the whole town. You know, the underpass and the other connecting road to the superhighway, you know, coming into Yola from Numan is also going to receive a great boost. With the work there is fantastically going on. As far as infrastructure is concerned, I think it's well rated by both the former President Buhari and the present President, you know, Ahmed Tinubu, for understanding exactly what he has done. Initially, too, I've heard the commissioner spoke about the reality of the fact that in Adamawa State, we have a peaceful atmosphere that is attracting, you know, an increasing population from neighboring states. And I assure you that if you come in here and you see the business activities going on, you'll notice that Yola is becoming a great commercial city with commercial migrants and people that come in here to do business from Kano, from Gombe. The big shops here are owned by people from outside. With the enlarged population of nearly 6 million, barely above 5 million people, you know, in the past 3 years as it is growing, we know that without peace, things like this wouldn't have been. I know we've had our unfair share of security challenges, ranging from farmer herders, you know, to Sheila boys, and then to dregs of kidnappings and some aspects of Boko Haram coming to disturb us. And like the commissioner did mention, we had a sitting governor that sat on his nerves with all the security services engaged, and they can testify to the fact that in the whole of this nation, there is no governor that have purchased security vehicles and have distributed to them and even to the vigilantes like my governor. Well, anybody can beat his own drum, but what we're trying to emphasize is that now in Yola, you can move around. Some of these security challenges are no more, and people are comfortably moving and doing that which is right. When you come to the aspect of education, I think so far is one singular governor on records that have succeeded in doing something that is landmark, putting in about 14 billion plus into education, developing school infrastructure in the 21 local governments and setting out model schools that are going to contend and to solve our major problems. The ambition for the infrastructure, they are well going. And I can tell you too that, like you rightly say, no one is left behind and nothing is left untouched as far as our governor is concerned.
All right.
We'd like to invite you some other time to see exactly what that is, so the whole world can come here for a model.
All right. All right. So, I mean, but what's the debit profile of Adamawa State, considering the infrastructural developments undertaken by Governor Fintiri?
You know, there is an exciting thing about our governor, which people don't know. The debt profile is nothing to write home about, if there is any at all, because the success story of his infrastructural development is hinged on what he is able to generate as revenue. And what comes from the Federation account is just a mere plus to what he's doing. And I don't think you will find any traceable thing to accuse him of putting in any debt as far as this state is concerned. It's just prudent management and the projects are comfortably tied to the IGR, and he is comfortably getting it done the right way. But all those things that the opposition would like to say, there's always a day for accounts to be balanced, and we know exactly what we are talking about. If you were drawing this team from debts, you wouldn't have gone this far, at least with the rate at which things are going. But it is a clear thing that also one outstanding thing about him that we know, and on good record, is the fact that he saves for virtually every project that he projects. And over the period of time, I'm meant to understand that most sincerely, no project stopped because of that. And he's getting it right because the finances are truly balanced and well done.
All right, let me get back to Honorable Commissioner. If you can hear me, at some point, Governor Finteri's administration was described as the first political revolution in the history of Adamawa State. But what would you consider as the challenges of governance in that state?
Thank you. As in other governments, every government faces challenges, but in Adamawa State, we are able to contain the challenges we have at hand. One of the challenges, as you know, is a paucity of resources that coming into the state as compared to other states. But the governor used his ingenuity in engineering the financial discipline into the system in order to ensure that he mitigates the challenges that may come through the financial challenges in the state. We have some pockets of security challenges, as in every government, but the governor is also doing his best, going around all the states wherever the issue arises and tackling those challenges that we have at hand. And in the same vein, you can testify to me that Nigeria is suffering from economic crunch, and of which Adamawa State is part of the state that are also suffering the same plight. Our governor, in his magnanimity, discovered that for him to face these realities, he must introduce what we call Fintry Business Wallet. And apart from that, we also have 10 skills acquisition centers that we train skilled youths in order to make them compete with their counterpart throughout the world, so that they will be self-reliant and also the employers of labor. All this is put together. These are the challenges the governor confronted, and this Fintry Business Wallet, many people have benefited from it, particularly the small businesses holders. And you can testify to me that in any economy, micro businesses tend to be the engine growth of every economy. And that is what the governor is doing in order to mitigate the economic challenges he's facing. Is rolling out the 50,000 naira for all small businesses, particularly those those people that are not formalized, in order for them to also participate in the economy and contribute their quota by thereby mitigating the challenges of the economy we have at hand. So these are the challenges.
So Honorable Commissioner, while speaking, you insinuated that the federal allocation coming to the state is not enough, and I'm wondering what the state is doing to generate more money for itself.
Yes, yes, you can testify. Check the monthly allocation of the federal government. You can discover that Adamawa State, you can compare it to other states. But what we are sincerely doing has gone beyond every other state you can see in the country. And apart from that, our governor has increased his revenue generation, particularly internally generated revenue. It has rose from about 8 billion in 2019 to 17 billion, as you can testify. You know, it's something that he has done a lot through financial discipline by cutting out some of the government costs and also re-engineering some other fiscal discipline in order to ensure that he improved the revenue generation by meeting out all other challenges that might result as a result of finances in the states.
All right. I'm also aware that the governor has given approval for the establishment of the Adamawa Digital Academy. This is like the first of its kind in the state. I want you to talk to us about the essence of this academy, who benefits from this training, and the impact it will have on the digital economy of the state.
Thank you. I think one of those approaches that the governor want to do in this sense is level 2.0 Fintry level. This level 2.0 is mainly focused on ICT transformative agenda, because governor believes that technology innovation is very key to every development, and therefore we want to engage in broadband connectivity to link all our villages, all our local government through with internet connectivity, so that everybody you see around can connect to that fiber that will result to direct communication, whether those people in the interior villages are doing businesses and you can easily transact. And I want to tell you that when we have signed the NCC came, I think this week on Tuesday, on Tuesday they were here, and NICOM start yesterday we are here in the state, and we have signed an MOU to a company that they will link us to fiber optics. So all these things, when this ICT or technology infrastructure is put in place, I can bet to you that our economy will grow and everybody will feel the impact. And this time around, we are not only talking about the physical infrastructure, we are also focusing on the technological infrastructure that will drive innovation. Our youth will engage into remote jobs from abroad. They will be trained in various digital skills so that too, they can be here in the state and be working even from abroad. And that will generate employment to the state. It will create jobs, and ultimately it will add revenue. It will increase revenue to the state, even the nation at large, and thereby improving our overall economy and the growth of our GDP in the state.
All right, thank you. Dr. Gwamza, let me come to you, because it was just 3 months ago we had a conversation, and I remember the Adamawa state government announced its commitment to allocate 3 billion naira towards addressing the arrears of pensions and gratuities for the state's retired civil servants. As the governor fulfilled that commitment, and what's the relationship between the governor and civil servants?
Well, that's fantastic. I think we've noticed, as he promised, he has also committed himself. We received testimonies from quite a number of people that have been out of jobs and have been able to receive, as far as the whole thing is concerned, what is due to them. And the process is ongoing. As people retire, they get on and they're being paid. Now, when you come to Adamawa State, ask any pensioner whether he has missed, his monthly allowance or salary or whatever it is that drops into his own account. In the first place, pensioners are the first people that receive their own pay before even the civil servants in the state. In addition to that, I think no civil servant in Adamawa State will complain, being the fact that at least Fintry has always been the torchbearer, the first person, that does the right thing when it comes to minimum wage issues. In the first place, in the first time he did it, and this time around, the 70,000, he is the first in the Northeast and perhaps the whole country to start flashing that into the pockets of civil servants, as they do. So there is no two about the fact that in his own plans and whatever he is doing, he has done his best, at least in making them to have access to that which is due to them. There is a governor in the past 5 years that have paid salaries before the 23rd or after 20th, you start receiving your own alert, and it goes on like that. In the past 5 years, no civil servant is owing a state, any amount. And that has been done, on good record. So to my mind, even hearing from Labour, you will accept that they passed a vote of confidence on him some time ago when they visited. They acknowledged the fact and even thanked him for quite a number of things that are going on. I think he's a very mindful person when it comes to issues of wages, knowing exactly The fact that Adamawa state is largely a civil servant state, that is presently moving on towards trying to catch up, at least to make up other things that would work. And he didn't play with that, and he's not playing with it, and we're anticipating.
Dr. Gamza, kindly hold on. About this minimum wage, reports say over 30,000 naira was removed as tax. How true is this?
Well, that's blatant lie. When the opposition picks certain things, they pick them outside the scale and try to overflow them, beyond proportion. The reality of the whole thing is there are statutory taxes and other remittances that ought to have been done. And if some of these things accrue, that by the time they have been done, definitely certain things will have to look as if it is. But sincerely, no civil servant is complaining about the fact that this thing happened, more than those people that are trying to discredit the system. So to my understanding, being part of the show and moving around and living amidst the people, you still ask the questions and you wonder where this particular thing is coming from. Most sincerely, there's nothing like that. It is just calumny by some people to discredit his ability to obtain the 70,000 minimum wage. It's not true. You can come and verify, and you can find on record that nothing like that did sincerely happen.
All right. Gentlemen, at this point, let's go on a break. And when we come back, we will continue this conversation. Please stay with us, everyone.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
The race for the Ondo governorship is heating up, and TVC News is your exclusive front row seat to all the action. 4 top contenders, 1 seat: Shola Ebishieni of the Labour Party, Agbola Ajayi of the PDP, Benga Edema of the NNPP, and Lucky Ayedatiwa of the APC. As the candidates lay out their visions and Ondo's residents prepare to make a critical decision, the stakes couldn't be higher. Who will lead Ondo into its next chapter? Will Lucky Ayedatiwa hold on to power, or will a new face take the reins? Stay with TVC News for live, minute-by-minute updates, in-depth analysis, and real-time results as we bring you all the twists and turns on Election Day.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us on the program. Tonight, we're assessing Governor Madu Finteri's 5-year stewardship, the challenges and successes. And I've been speaking with Honorable James Leah, is the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Adamawa State, and also Dr. John Gamza, essay to Governor Finteri on communication and strategy. Gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us on the program. Honorable Commissioner, let me continue this conversation with you, because I'm very concerned about women and young adults in the States. For the youths, I see comments like, and this is verbatim, "Your Excellency, please, it's high time you invested in the youths of Adamawa State. Please, Your Excellency, we are unemployed for years now." I mean, these are some of the comments I see in the comment section under the governor's tweets, and most of them pleading that the administration focuses on job creation for the youths. Please address this.
Thank you. It is their concern. Like any other economy, unemployment has been the challenges of every government. And Right Honorable Amadou Fintri is doing his utmost best to ensure that he addresses this issue of unemployment. First and foremost, as I started earlier, when we came into the government, the governor discovered that the 10 skills acquisition center has been closed. So he reopened the skill centers. And in these skill centers, over 5,000 students are graduating from those schools. And apart from that, he embarked in some of the skills training. And some of them, we have also hands-on training, and we also have the empowerment of cooperative societies in the state. So we train more than 50,000 youths in the state to order, and we gave them starter packs in order to start their businesses and also command their work. And we also empower more than 40,000 cooperative societies. You know, it means a lot. If you're empowering more than 10,000 cooperative society, every 10,000, 40,000 cooperative, you will have about 10 members. So, and apart from that, the governor discovered that he cannot solve the problem. When he came in, he employed youth, particularly in educational sector, in order for them to also contribute their quota by teaching our people.
So when you say he employed youth, Honorable Commissioner, when you say he employed youth, what percentage are you talking about?
The percentage of youths?
Yes.
Of course, youths, the percentage of youths in the state, they are numerous. You know, they constitute the larger percentage as except that of children. But it is a very good percentage. Apart from employment, you know, not government can employ all the youths in the system. But now, he is embarking on the empowerment of youth and women. First and foremost, he in the last regime, in the last 4 years, he took the data of those youths that are on the streets. We train them, and some of them, they also have businesses. So we give them monthly 50,000 naira every month. Some we give them, we give them 30,000 naira. Some we give them 20,000 naira and 10,000 naira throughout that 4 years. So in order to help them augment their challenges, particularly where that time we are suffering from COVID-19 epidemics, and so that it will mitigate the challenges they are facing.
So, Honorable Commissioner, to be clear, that intervention was for the youth. So what about women and people living with disabilities?
People living with disabilities, we had program with them in 2022. People with disabilities, we train them for the period of 2 weeks. We empower them with starter packs. We have 4 categories of people living with disabilities. We have the four categories. Everybody have his own peculiarities in terms of businesses they are doing. So we train them according to their peculiarities. We give them starter packs, and we give them stipends for them to go and establish their businesses. For the women, all the empowerment we are doing, women are part of it. But I will tell you that in the month of August, our governor specifically did the empowerment solely for the women. We empowered 10,000 women in the state, and we gave them 50,000 naira for them to expand their business operation. And those people that are not even into the business, we are now to engage them into small business so that they will also start their living. And he didn't stop from that. These 65,000 people that he wants to empower in the month of December, 40% of them, they are women. So if you are taking 40% of 65,000 naira, the minimum, because he instructed that it should be 40% and upward. So the women that will be enrolled into the system, they will not be less than the 40%. So all this program put together, and apart from that, he is the first governor that made the vice chairman of the various local government to be women. All of them are women in the state. Our deputy governor, she's a woman. The chief justice is a woman. You discover that there's a good number of women into the system. All this thing is geared toward helping the women to also have a voice in the society. All this program put together, our governor is doing it. And apart from that, he didn't stop there. He is now building a very befitting a modern stadium that will take care of the youth challenges.
All right.
Some of them, yes, and some of them will go to abroad. Some of them will engage into the sporting activities that will put food on their table. So I want to believe that all these programs is helping the youth. It's not just that their number is too much, and we are doing our best to ensure that we reduce the unemployment of youth to the barest minimum, whereby everybody will smile in the state.
All right. Dr. Gamza, let me come to you. Let's talk about the issue of extortion, receiving of stolen property, thuggery, criminal conspiracy, and causing grievous hurt. You know, it's refreshing to see that some of them faced the wrath of the law and were jailed. But is there no end in sight to this menace called Sheila Boys?
Well, I think it's been an interesting pack of discussion all over the nation to talk about Sheila Boys as if it's something that came in to live forever. But interestingly, let me tell you, in the past 1 month, 2 months, 2 months, 1 month now, you can hardly hear of such cases on the streets of Yola because of the deliberate activity that is taken, at least to mitigate that. Most sincerely, I'll tell you that this package to stop this particular thing, you know, with the absolute cooperation of the security services, have been on a good note of human concern. To say that, yes, the security services did their best to calm the cities, you know, the streets, and take them off. And also what the government is doing backdoor is most interesting, and what we are not talking about. That is the question of taking stock of where these youth are coming from, their own parents, you know, their background, good enough for them to set a scheme to rehabilitate them along the line. When you go out now and you come to the prisons, except if somebody just wants to sound political, you'll not find most of them there. They've been adequately taken off those places and placed where it is necessary. It is not as alarming as so contained or so spoken, you know, that there are many in number, and so there are issues of human rights violations or some kind of things like that. You know, all these things are taken care of. But as a matter of strategy, you know, government would like to disclose what they do backdoor, you know, particularly where it affects, you know, issues of rehabilitation and whatnot, because it's not something you celebrate. But by the time you come up and you measure exactly what is happening, I can tell you that with the collaboration that the government is making with a lot of NGOs, you know, in Adamawa State, some of these boys are receiving, you know, skills training good enough for them at least to be placed where they should be.
All right.
Now, when you hear what my commissioner spoke about, you know, about opportunities being opened up, skills acquisition centers being there, it is part of the ambitious plan of the government, you know, to ensure that some of these boys are taken to where they will be corrected and be given that which is good. You know, not to tell you maybe a little more about that, but quite a number of them, and even their parents are being brought in. They're receiving a lot of psychological and trauma counseling, and so many good things are happening. There are support services, you know, with the welfare departments here, and all these things are working on fine. So we don't have, I can comfortably tell you, we don't have presently issues of Sheila Boys on our own streets any longer in Jamaica. Only isolated cases, and these things can happen on the streets of Abuja, they can happen virtually anywhere, but this is put under control, completely and entirely.
Another very interesting, let me stay with you, Dr. Gamza. Another very interesting story coming out of Adamawa State is that many communities in the state are now advocating for the creation of additional chiefdoms. This has been on for 3 years now. Is this a political move by the governor or the people, or what exactly is happening?
You know, Governor Amadu Fitri as governor, he's not going to contest in 2027. I think it's over with him. If you meet him, the man is even too tired. He is just trying to grapple to make up his next 2 years to fulfill his own promises to the people. So 2027 is entirely a different ballgame, you know, for some players that will come. But I think let's take a small look into, you know, the picture of Adamawa State. That is, by appreciating the composition, we are the highest, with the highest number of ethnic groups, you know, in Nigeria. You know, we're talking about 70 to about 80, you know, ethnic groups that are nationalities, that have their own cultural identities, that also have aspirations to preserve their own culture and do that which is right, at least for the benefit of their own personal development. I think that the governor has been looking deep into it. and he has drafted a particular document which is guiding everybody who wants it to come up and ask for it, because it is a constitutional expectation that anybody who wants to preserve his own culture and develop his own people can come up and do that. That he has opened it up. There's nothing political about it. He's just trying to look at the possibility of developing people from their own indigenous perspective, good enough for them to live and to do that which is right for them in Nigeria. Yes, there have been previously historical factors, which the colonial masters played around here and somehow put some people under orders. But now there is an open air of ventilation, which he's trying to circulate good enough for these people to have attainment, at least to have fulfillment if they have something to do. That he has opened
but can you confirm,
Dr.
Kamza, can you confirm that the 7th Adamawa State House of Assembly had passed a bill for the creation of a total number of 22 new districts out of the 97 communities who submitted memoranda?
I think the process is ongoing. It's not something that you can say it stops along the line. It is ongoing, and that's a process that is open, and he wants to sanitize it, and that is the reason why he's trying to make good rules and regulations that will guide them effectively. And if you come to Adamawa State, I think the excitement is all over. The ethnic groups and the people are putting themselves together and looking at their own pluses and minuses and asking for it. I think he wants to sanitize the system, and that he has done. What the House of Assembly is doing as a stamping establishment is to confirm and to ensure that the law is made properly in such a way that you will not have hinges when it comes around and it goes and another government comes around to put it off. At least we're looking at some difficulties of such kind of occurrences, from Kano State, the emirship puzzle and the whatnot. And that country would not like to see it. He would like to leave Adamawa State in the best traditional formation he has met in such a way that at least they can transform and live in unity. I think it's a gross move towards trying to unite the people and to allow them to have cultural expression that will build the state and make it a better state to live in.
All right, Honorable Commissioner, maybe you should speak to this rocky relationship between Senator Elisha Abo and the governor. I mean, it would have been better if the governor was here to address this himself, but let's have it. The former senator had raised a lot of allegations against the governor. Before now, he accused Governor Fintiri of making false claims over the donation of transformers to some communities in the state. Now, he says the governor is behind his removal. He alleged that the governor bribed some judges. He also said that the governor abandoned the Yakwe electricity plan from tapping from Lagbaja Dam. These are huge allegations and need answers.
Thank you. On the point of Senator Abo, I don't want to discuss this thing because it's not part of the governor's agenda. The governor cannot stood so low to go and be interfering into the judgment of Senator Abo in Abuja or somewhere else. I know my governor very well. We've been working closely with him since 2019 to date. Governor is very focused about development of the people of Adamawa State. He's very focused about the building infrastructures and reducing poverty in the state. He don't have money or any other attention to focus himself for the prospect of someone else. So Senator Abo is just making a noise. Governor has no any hand in what Senator Abo is going through. He should face the reality. He should check very well the election that brought him into the system, and that is where he will talk now. But coming to say the governor did not do anything about it, and to talk about the other part that he is talking about, Governor Amadou Fintiri is very focused on the development of the people of Adamawa. In the issue of electricity that you are talking about, Governor did not stop anything there. This is a legislative process. If the previous government did not put the institutions, the proper legislation on ground, so you cannot just come and jump into it. So we are looking into it. Recently, the House of Assembly has passed a law. It's now that they are passing a law to generate power in the state. So it's just that governor is very interested about the power and the electricity. See what he's doing right now. Last week, we approved the memo to supply power, solar power throughout the cottage hospitals that we have in the state. And even recently, he asked the Honorable Commissioner of Health to either go and bring the memo for the supply of solar power to all the secondary health facilities. So governor is very deliberate about after the validation of the generation of power bill. Now we shall come and talk about the power generation in Adamawa State. But that one has not been followed properly, and we are not going to follow something that has been done illegally in the state.
All right. Dr. Gamza, there's every possibility that you may want to address those allegations. And while you do that, Governor Fitteru recently declared that his successor will be a grassroots politician. And I'm wondering, will this not cause division among various actors eyeing for the seat of the governor within your party, especially at this time the PDP is also divided at the center?
And what do you expect him to do? He said that he's not going to give it to a renowned politician. You know, you cannot be governor if you are not a renowned politician. First place, I think he made a statement that is just fair and open, good enough for the people to understand and to know that he has nothing and he has no sacred cow, he has nobody he's protecting, and as a Democrat that he is to core, he is allowing it open for those people that are ready. But you know one thing, you would not like to see like any other governor, is to get somebody who will come and not do and progress, about what is ahead. All those options are things that are held to himself and held to God. And I think it's only God himself that will determine what will happen in 2027 as far as Adamawa State is concerned. As a very good political player, if you watch him closely, he is the type that plays it with all sense of fairness, without selecting anybody and without trying to make anybody to look better than the other. You know how volatile political issues can be, but you also know how cautious he is, at least in the process. Since he's not been the type that hurts the system or hits the system, he is the type that will always work to ensure that he gets it right as far as fair play is concerned, because he's a product of fair play in democracy. If not because of what he has done in terms of being fair himself, he wouldn't have been the governor sitting exactly due to certain things that happened, where some people were deliberately trying to take up the power and to interplay and do a coup and abuse democracy in the state. He's very careful, he's very sound, he's able, and he knows exactly where he's going to, and I assure you that that is not going to stir anything. Anybody who is just trying to look for, his own space to play it out and decide to make noise out of it. But to me, there is no noise there. You don't expect him to give somebody who is not a renowned politician. You don't expect him to give somebody that is not experienced.
So is there an anointed candidate in view?
I don't think there's any anointed candidate in view.
Oh, you do not want to tell us now?
It's 2 years to go. It's still too early. Relax. When we get there, we'll cross the bridge. Okay. And I'm sure no governor will tell you that he's going to anoint this person. We know that such things don't happen, as far as politics is concerned. So he's a very good player and he's playing it right. And everybody who is able and ready to do it in PDP, let him come up and do it. We're even hearing cases and stories because we're already receiving decampees from PDP and from APC coming into PDP. That's getting excited. So maybe we're waiting for such people to come over and then something good will come out of it.
All right, so let me throw this final question to both of you. So you can go first, Dr. Gamza. Adamawa has about 21 local governments, and some persons claim that development is concentrated mostly within the state capital. Why is this so?
Well, it is not so. When you go to every local government, if you have a good measurement, there have been good road constructions of 3.5 kilometers, all across. Other facilities have been developed. If you go to any local government, the model schools are there. They've sprouted. They're going on and finishing. When you look across the state, the cottage hospitals are there. And amazingly, what they will not tell you is that he's been able to work on 1,600 kilometer rural roads connecting, the state and other areas. Let me tell you, when you come to Adamawa State, we have the best connectivity in terms of rural routes, in the entirety of North Zone. If care is not taken, I'll tell you, in the entirety of Nigeria. Look at what 1,600 kilometers can be, connecting villages along the line. And all these things are going on. They will not see those, they will just be saying certain things that are not. What do you expect him to do? The state capital must receive its own befitting outlook. And I tell you, very soon, even international organizations will tell you that we have the smartest city, the neatest, the fastest growing, the roads are opening up, and the infrastructure is glowing. And it is commensurate with what obtains in the local governments. So that in itself, is something I can comfortably tell you that on good record, some people are just trying to say these or that, which is not. When you come to our local governments, you'll be excited to see what's there.
All right, Honorable Commissioner, so what more should the people of Adamawa State expect from Governor Umaru Fintiri?
As a matter of fact, Governor Umaru Fintiri has made it clear to us that he will continue commissioning projects, constructing roads, constructing bridges, embarking on empowerment and on infrastructure until the day of 29 May 2027. So people of Adamawa State should expect more development, more infrastructure in the state, more economic growth, more poverty reduction, more employment, since he made it known recently that in 2025 there will be employment of all cadre of people in the state. And so we should expect more development.
All right.
He said, and to crown it all, the security of people is heartbeat. So our people, the investors from within and outside Nigeria, come to Adamawa for investment because of the peaceful.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner. From here, we can only wish the governor all the best, but we'll continue to hold him accountable. Thank you so much for joining us, Commissioner for Information and Strategy at Adamawa State, Honorable James Leah, and essay to Governor Fintiri on Communication and Strategy, Dr. John Ganza. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight, but you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Baby girl, tell me what you want. It's Laugh Matas with Big Adink and Friends, Las Giddy, the third coming. Featuring The Band, Omo Baba, Remini Salaga, Gandoki, Queen Salawa Benny, Bash, T Famous, Agororo, Dr. Smile, The Countryman, Forever, Aristos Band, Seriki Daria, D1, Taoma, Babalaria, Multiverse Comedy, ATM, Short Family, ATM 47, DJ Wiki, and many more. Date, 17th November 2024. Venue, Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, VI. Time, 4 p.m. red carpet. Show starts 5 p.m. Tickets, regular 7K, VIP 20K, table of 8, gold 1.5 million, platinum 3 million. Tickets available at Ileño by Pods, GRA Ikeja, Ofada Boy, Surulere, Prince Epanos Supermarket, Lekki, online at ariatickets.com, grandtickets.ng, laughmatas.ng. Brought to you by Mortina, Goldberg, Ace Roots, Goldberg Black, supported by Powerlex Bank, Enclave Green Homes, FIRF, Eleganza Industries, and the Lagos State Government. Laugh Matas, the third coming. Oh my loud gone. Media partner.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. At ShopX TV, our customers are the heart of everything we do. As a special thank you for your continued support, we are offering our customers 10% off on selected products from now till November 15th. That's right, shop now and save big on some of your favorite items while stock lasts. Don't miss out on this opportunity to grab amazing products at unbelievable prices. First is our amazing 4-in-1 CookX blender. It's a food processor, a grinder, a blender, and a juicer all in one. The CookX 4-in-1 blender comes with 3 versatile cup sizes, each crafted to handle special tasks perfectly. Imagine effortlessly whipping up smoothies that are truly smooth, pounded yam and soups that are flawlessly pounded and blended. You would normally pay 189,950 naira for the CookX 4-in-1 blender, but call the number on your screen right now or scan the QR code and get it for just 170,995 naira. Incredible! And that's not all. You can get the CookX 4-in-1 blender in 2 easy payments of 85,498 naira. That's right, pay twice to get this amazing cooking solution. And we are not done yet. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the ShopX Ultimate Crunch Exercise Machine. The 6-in-1 machine is